Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk. If you enjoy our content, please consider donating and following our socials. All right, so here's a topic that I found kind of interesting.
Okay.
So there's been there's quite a few online communities and pagan communities and pagan groups and pagan covens and things like that, right?
Yep.
Let's talk about ethics in the digital world.
Lord. Okay. What would you like to know?
Well, I mean, are there any? Or
the same ethics that we practice in our regular religion should show through on these podcasts. I'm sorry, if you're not going to sit there and tell somebody to their face something, why in the world are you going to tell it to them online?
Let's face it, being online and being behind a keyboard instead of face-to-face,
it creates all sorts of anonymity.
Right. There's a certain anonymity. There's a certain security
there.
And it allows people to say things they wouldn't normally say.
Or go down paths that they normally wouldn't go down.
Right.
Because again, well, again, we have a problem in the pagan community about people feeding into ego narratives.
Right.
The majority of the times, all right? This person's special for this reason. This person's special for that reason. These rules don't apply to this person for this reason, which I'm sorry, I consider all bullshit.
Well, I do too, but I mean, how come,
And again, I feel like this is nothing more than the online community feeding into people's ego.
Okay.
Because again, I hate to be this way with my problem with the internet and even what we're doing on the podcast, there is a bit of anonymity here. It's not like I'm going to meet these people that listen to us on a regular basis to sit there and question me when I give them an answer that they might not particularly like.
Right. I mean, it's not like like you and I have millions upon millions of listeners and, we could potentially run into somebody going to the grocery store who listens to the show.
Right. And wants to take everything we say so seriously or whatever to the point to where everything's a sign and everything indicates that they're somehow special and feeding into that ego.
I think that's a different.
Well, again, there's my problem with the online community.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at online communities and stuff like that, that's really all I see from these podcasters and stuff is that they're not really talking about the actual ethics and working of craft. They're too busy feeding into everybody's ego and making them feel special.
Right, but I'm also talking like groups like on Discord, the online coven.
Again, the same thing's happening there is people feeding into the ego of other people to make themselves feel important.
All right.
Instead of being honest with people. Okay, no, you're not possessed. You're not cursed. The rules work for you just like they do everybody else. But again, I keep on sitting there going, oh, there's always an exception. What are you talking about? Either the rules functions for everybody or they don't function for nobody.
So how do we avoid all of that?
By us being honest with ourselves. By those people out there doing the podcasts, claiming to be teachers, taking a moment going, well, maybe the rules apply to all of us the exact same way. And if they don't apply to us in the same way, then that means we might have gotten the rule wrong and not the concept of it. There's my whole problem with the online community. Because again, there's no real...
There's no physical presence.
There's no physical presence there. There's no real interaction. It's just half guesses and pop culture when you're counseling people and not real worldly stuff that actually helps.
All right. Well, I mean, can we give anything that people who are looking to get involved with these communities, can we give them any pointers, any suggestions to help navigate the ethics of that?
Well, again, I would
ask your questions. What qualifies this person?
What qualifies this person
to be my leader?
Right. What qualifies this person for me to listen to them and what they're saying? Besides, I like them. I like their voice and all the aesthetics, and they're saying what I want to hear.
Right.
Are you with me? Mm-hmm. Because again, it's not about what we want to hear; it's what we need to hear. All right. So again, and I'm not really knocking all, well, and I am, but I'm not at the same time, because again, we're back to, we could easily do podcast on the 50,000 different ways to do a damn jar spells
Sure.
and have listeners out the yin yang, because that's what in the world people want. Or we can actually do podcast on the actual ethics and morals of craft and how it actually works,
Right.
which is a little bit harder to do. We have to hold ourselves there. There is nothing there to hold us there. We do not have dogmatic philosophy like certain religions that require us to. We have to do it out of want, not out of need.
Right. Well, I think there's also another danger to that is, the whole guilt by association type thing, where you might say something or somebody in your group might say something, then you are automatically tied into that regardless of what it may be.
Well, I hate to be this way. I see this a lot in multiple communities.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay?
This is not just pagan.
No, this ain't just pagan. All right? But I'm going to say it's a little bit more stand out in pagan, because there are some pagan practices out there that require certain requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm not going to sit there and pretend like they don't freaking exist. Yes,
right.
There are certain places, yes, that require you to be white and to be European and blah, blah. And that's great for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right? They can practice whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, who am I to judge that? And I don't mean that mean, but
I know, but the way I look at it is if you're going to be involved in that type, if you're the leader, you're still ultimately responsible for the actions and things of your online group.
Okay, but I'm going to put it this way. Then but again, it's the same logic. It's like me assuming that PTL is every TV evangelist.
Okay.
Are you with me?
That's fair.
All right. Again, it's the same logic there. So you want me to assume that all pagan people are the exact same way? And
no, that's not what I was trying to say.
But you understand how in the world that slippery slope.
I do, but that's not what I was trying to say. I'm just saying that we have a Discord for the podcast.
Yes.
Right. We are technically.
Let's be very specific here. We have a Discord for the podcast, and we also have a Discord for Temple, which you have to be invited.
Right, but I'm talking about just for the podcast. It's our little online pagan community, right?
Right.
We are ultimately the leaders of this online community.
Yes.
Right. And we set up certain rules that we expect the folks to follow.
Right.
We are ultimately responsible for maintaining those rules and enforcing those rules.
Yes.
Okay. So I think what it boils down to is, as leaders, you're going to have to navigate these relationships very carefully.
Yes.
Right. And it's just because, where do you allow somebody not to say something?
Well, here's my point is, in the online community, there's certain things I will allow that I would not allow in person. And that's because of the disconnect online.
Sure, yeah.
Are you with what I'm saying?
Mm.
To where if I was there in front of you and was hearing you, I might shut you down in 5 seconds flat because I know where in the world it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike I'm reading online, I'm reading something online. Okay, well, let's be more specific for me. I'm going to have the computer read it to me.
Right.
So I have to wait to hear it all before I can react.
Well, and then too, I think...
And even then, it still doesn't quite illustrate always what in the world the person's thinking, because there's a lot of times I write stuff,
mm-hmm.
and I think in pictures, but trying to translate those pictures into English does not always go well.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I remember, the advent of email and chat rooms and things like that where it was all text-based. And that started a whole torrent of misunderstandings and this and that, because like you said, it's not an in-person thing, and you can't always tell the tone of somebody's words because it's all just written down.
Well, again, the difference between capital letters and lowercase letter. Capital letters, everybody's yelling. Really? Or did they just screw up and hit the wrong button? And
I was going to say, you know how many times I hit the caps lock and didn't realize it until I done sent the message?
Thank you. But there's my point. So you're not actually yelling. You're just a wrong key flick.
Right.
And it happens. So again, assuming intent based on the way somebody's does not translate well.
No, it doesn't. And
because again, if I'm in a bad mood when I read something, I'm going to put that mood into what I'm reading to some extent.
Sure, yeah.
You know, especially if it's an email.
True.
All right. I mean, again, I don't do this on a book when I'm sitting there reading a book and there's a love scene going, yeah. It doesn't suddenly become something else because there's the context there. But in stuff like emails and texts, I can see how that gets disgraced.
And especially if it's from somebody that you're already having an issue with.
Thank you.
You're going to inflect that into their written words.
Exactly.
It's human nature. It's what you're going to do.
Exactly. Even though it was sent not being harpy or blah, 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 I'm going to read it that way because that was the last interaction me and that person had.
Right.
And I think it's just them still being harpy on something that.
Right.
Where it's not.
So again, where do you draw the line?
Right.
You have to figure that out. And it's something that we deal with all the time.
And again, I still have to deal with, if I'm running a podcast and I have listeners emailing me and asking me questions and I'm directing them, am I going to want to placate to them so they'll keep on listening, or am I going to tell them the truth? Are you with what I'm saying?
We won't just.
Well, again, I know I won't. All right, and I know you won't. We're not those type of people. But yet, I've sort of seen this on certain podcasts where they sort of play to the person that's making the comment, regardless of what in the world they actually believe.
Yeah, and
I find that dishonest.
Well, yeah, I do too.
And that's where in the world I have a problem with online ethics and stuff like this is, can we be honest? All right. Do we really have to kiss are you with me? And I don't mean that mean, but do we really have to kiss everybody's ass?
Right.
I mean, because again, we do these podcasts. I'm not really worried about if you like me or you don't, or you like what I say. Here's what I believe, and this is why.
Right.
Either you analyze it or you tell me to go fuck myself. I don't.
Not me.
What else do you want? I mean, because again, this is what I want to do to you. Either I'm going to stop listening to you and walk away, or I'm going to keep on listening to you.
Right.
I'm not going to listen to somebody I hate.
No, of course not.
That makes no sense to me.
No. That's just rage bait. That's what that is.
I'm sorry. I have better things in my life to be mad at besides stupid stuff.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But again, this is my problem with the online ethics is it's so easy to be flippant. It's easier to feed into other people's egos.
Right.
Instead of being honest with them. No, you're not possessed. No, you're not cursed. You're just making dumb decisions.
Right.
There's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I see a lot in the pagan community in all of this is they're not giving hard answers. It's always placating to the person's ego.
I see that outside of the online communities too. So, I mean, that kind of thing could.
Well, I'm just saying it just
breach the boundary.
Again,
there.
To me, I see it more on the online community because I'm too busy, don't want to hurt someone's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Then to sit there and go, no, you're not special.
Yeah.
No, karma. If you believe in karma works on you just like it does everybody else in the world.
Right, and you can't block it.
You can't block it. You're not special.
Same
You're
rules
not
apply.
unique.
Right.
It doesn't. But yet, every podcast I listen to feeds straight into that ego.
There are a lot. There are a lot that do that. Yeah.
And I don't mean that mean, but there's where my ethics on this diverge from everybody else's, I guess.
Right. That kind of ties into, maybe not, like privacy boundaries. Like as creators, okay, I guess technically we're creators.
I guess.
It's so weird to say that.
I,
It really is.
But kind of like us being influencers.
Right, well, we're certainly not influencers.
We don't influence
No,
nothing.
we don't influence anybody. But as digital creators, I see lots of people on YouTube, and I hear other podcasts and things like that, and eventually somewhere down the line they feel like they have to start sharing more personal information to keep the listeners or the watchers connected, so that they keep following the podcasts. You know what I mean?
Well, I have to ask the question. Does that mean that your depth of the occult and of witchcraft philosophy is lacking so much you have to bring your personality in there?
Maybe. I don't know. Well, I mean, maybe it's just like personal experiences and they keep getting more and more personal.
I'm sorry. I have a dog. We hear the dog, but we never refer to the dog because, again, what does that have to do with craft?
Right.
Per se. Are you with what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm just saying I see a lot of this, and I think that's an unethical breach.
I don't want to say it's an unethical breach. I think it's an unnecessary thing. I do not need, again, when I'm listening to a podcast, I don't care about your cat.
Right.
I don't care that they're there and I'm here. I read the title of this, which said, hey, I'm going to talk about this.
True, yeah.
And instead I'm going on there and listen to you talk about your cat for 5 minutes.
Right.
I'm not listening.
Right.
Because that's not what I'm there for. I'm there for what in the world was in the title.
Right. But I'm just saying, I don't know why people choose to do that. I don't think you really need to do that.
Well, see, I don't think people choose. I think there are people out there that actually ask those questions.
And so they think they need to answer those
questions? So they think they need to answer them. Well, again, we've never been asked that question before because we don't get feedback like that.
No, we don't.
All right. I mean, the feedback we get is kind of more precise. They want us to talk about a certain subject, or they want us, when we do get feedback, or they have a specific question about something we said in a podcast.
Right.
We rarely get, hey, what was your dog's name?
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. I think it's a concern, and I think if you're gonna be a creator, if you're gonna be a quote unquote influencer, just keep your personal life out of it.
I'm the same way.
Keep that boundary. You know what I mean?
Well, again, we're here to talk about traditional craft.
Right. We're not here to talk about our garden.
We're not here. No.
Our bills or whatever else. No. Everybody's got bills. Who fucking cares?
Or our pets or anything else.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that over the time, I've referred to you as my husband. We're married, and that's just to keep people understanding the dynamic.
Right.
Where we're talking, but I'm not going to sit here and spend 5 minutes talking about the dog.
Right.
And having everybody say,
right.
Is not the point. Did y'all not come to this to listen to occult and witchcraft philosophy from a traditional point of view?
Absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of being here.
That's the whole point. That's what we're talking about. So again, ethics and morals. I'm with you on this. Does this promote the craft? Does this promote the religion?
Right.
Does this preserve craft in itself, which is our ultimate goal, is to preserve craft and then pass it on to the next generation?
Right. And I guess that leads into the next question or statement or area of concern is commercialization of spiritual practices.
So help me, if I see another kitsch witchery book, I'm going to throw it across the room.
I mean, it's great if you want to publish your books and stuff, but I don't know. I worry that like we don't monetize the podcast.
No.
Right. So even on YouTube, we don't make any money off of that.
No.
We don't allow the commercials.
Go on and say it. Even if we had enough listeners to monetize, we wouldn't.
No, we wouldn't. And I think that's our effort to keep it commercialized.
Right.
Right.
But again, and I'm going to sit here and state this, there is a part of our belief that a gift to the she cannot be property of the she already, in which this refers to knowledge, and how in the world do you price that knowledge?
Right.
You know, I don't understand it. So,
right.
So there is something, and I'm stating this out right now. There is something in our tradition that basically says we're really not allowed to charge for information or classes.
Right.
Specifically.
Right. No, absolutely.
All right. So again, this is not every tradition. So
no, but I'm just saying with the digital age, YouTubers, right. The more followers you get, the more opportunity you get to make money. So that means commercials and.
Well, again, you have that gatekeeping by price tag.
Yes and no. I mean, like with YouTube, it's not really, you don't pay to subscribe to somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
With most of them YouTube channels, the majority of the time to get the quote unquote real information.
Oh yeah,
you have to
subscribe
go
to my Patreon
or
whatever else it is,
and which money comes involved, and now you're paying for information.
Right.
Again, in our tradition, we're not allowed to do that.
Right.
Again, I'm not saying that these other traditions are wrong for doing it. I'm just saying we are not allowed to do that.
No, absolutely.
I want to make that extension. So that's why in the world we're kind of against it.
Right.
So, but I can't sit there and say it's a standard of all pagan truth.
No, it's not. It's not. You know, and if that's what you choose to do, then like, more power to you.
More power to you. I'm not going to be paying for it.
Right. And so then I guess sort of what we talked about earlier, well, one of the topics we talked about earlier, is handling conflict online. This is always an issue because you got, like us, we have our Discord.
I have issues with other, and I'm not pretending like we've never.
Right, but I'm just saying, you know, when you have an online community, you got to understand you got people from all walks of life that are coming into this, right?
Yeah.
You need people to be respectful. It's easy because of, one, no physical interaction. Two, you can't hear what they're saying.
No.
Or how they're saying it.
No.
So yeah, when there is conflict, you got to be able to stop it. And if it, you know, like us, we don't usually step in. We let them go. If it looks like it's getting out of hand, that's when we step in and be like, "Hey."
Well, again,
pull it back, folks.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend there are like two influencers I know we have called out in the past specifically. Yeah. But again, there were specific reasons for calling them out.
Yeah.
With the conversations we were having. So again, that's not.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think other than that, just, you know, just keep an eye on it and use your everyday ethics.
Oh, God forbid.
You know, it shouldn't be that difficult.
If you don't support somebody and you don't like them, then unsubscribe from their
Absolutely,
feeds.
Yeah.
Quit listening to them. Thumbs them down when they do show up.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Sitting there and hate watching just the hate watch is weird to me.
Yeah.
You know, why do you want to spend 30 minutes of your life just being pissed because you don't like what I have to say?
I don't know why you would do that.
Makes no sense to me. I'd rather go watch anime I'd rather not like.
I'd rather go drink a cup of coffee.
Ooh, coffee? You say coffee?
Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another episode. Pagan Coffee Talk is brought to you by Life Temple and Seminary. Please visit us at lifetempleseminary.org for more information, as well as links to our social media: Facebook, Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit.
We travel down this trodden path, a maze of stone and mire. Just hold my hand as we pass by a sea of blazing pyres. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning